Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador. And boy, do we have a fun show for you today. So pop in, say hi. We're live in the chat today. And I was just chatting with the girls, and I realized that I think I match our screen today. I wasn't even planned. All right, so we have got two fabulous ambassadors. Well, actually three, because I'm the third, but two fabulous ones. I'll be the third out. And we are going to show you stuff about PrintModa. We're going to be doing applique. Grab your notebook, and don't forget you can watch the replay. So we are live on Brother Sewing Facebook and YouTube pages. So you want to hit the like and subscribe. You'll never miss a show. All right, let's get rolling. Wait to see who we have here. We got Laura and Tabitha. How are you?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. I'm so excited to have you both, especially because I feel like spring is in the air, but we were just talking, Tabitha, you've like 10 feet of snow or something crazy like that?
I did. So I live in Williamsburg, Virginia. And if you've ever been here, you know that we rarely get snow. So 10 inches is a big deal here.
That's a lot. I'm in Michigan. It's snowing, but it always is. And Laura, I just flew over you and you had an ice storm.
Yeah, we did. And today it's finally getting warmer, but it's still cold. It was 20 degrees this morning.
Oh my gosh. Atlanta, they don't even know what to do with that.
No, we don't. We're like, we like Florida vibes, you know?
Well, I'm so excited for today's show because you two are you have so much fun things going on. That's not even proper English. So many fun things, not much. So why don't we kick it off with Laura? Because I see that big, beautiful PrintModa behind you.
Yes. So I'm going to do something with the PrintModa. This is a fabric printer, which is really cool. You know, it also prints on paper, just so you know. But what I love about it is it prints on fabric, and you can do very large banners up to a whole entire yard, or smaller projects. So there's so many options and different things that you can make with this PrintModa. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a cute little travel laundry bag. But I also wanted to share just some of the projects that I made when I first got my PrintModa. So my son, he loves to go to the library, and he has a pet leopard gecko lizard, and he wanted to make a little leopard gecko portrait on his library bag. So we used the Artspira app AI feature and created this cute little image. And then we printed it out on the PrintModa to create this cute little library bag. You can see his little leopard gecko on the front.
So cute.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. I love how custom it is.
Isn't that fun? Whenever he brings us, everyone's like, "Oh, I love your library bag," and he just smiles like, "I made it."
That's so cute.
And so what I did with this one was I printed, you know, the image, and then I created, I used fabric just to sew around the edge, and then I added some fusible fleece just to give it some sturdiness, you know, especially if you're doing library books. But it's just kind of a fun feature that you can use with the PrintModa. I wanted to show you just some of the other creative things you can do. I just actually did this one, and it's a cute little postcard.
Ooh, I want to make that. That's cute.
Kind of like a cute little postcard love note wristlet and zipper pouch, and you know, everything's custom. And then to go with that, I made this cute little bag tag.
Smart.
And I combined the embroidery, the PE900 with that. So I'm just showing you all the different ways that you can kind of, you know, use your different machines, sewing, embroidery, and the PrintModa as well. So today I'm going to show you guys, let's get into this. I'm going to send my design right here. I made this on the Artspira app. And what I like about the Artspira app for the PrintModa is they have a ton of different designs that you can go through for fabric, but also cute little icons and images that you can create your own. So I did this little monogram. So I'm going to send it to my printer. All I do is press print. And you just say okay, because it's making sure that you have the proper rolling. And it's sending it right now to the printer. So you can see it's getting ready to print. And I did a little version because I already made this big one.
This is so cute, Laura. I'm still going back to that tag. Those tags are so much classier than the little write-in ones that I have to do sometimes at the airport because I love
Right?
that.
Yeah, and I use that.
How creative that is.
Yeah, and you can make your own little fun design or your own writing. And what I thought was cool is you add that vinyl that you put over the fabric, and
Oh yeah,
it's just
and
waterproof.
it makes it waterproof. That's so good. I love how you can customize it too. That's so cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun little project. I could have done that, but
Yeah.
next time. All right, printed. Now I printed a smaller version because I've already done a big one, but here's my cute little front. And you can customize the size, which is cool. So I made a larger version. This is a 8.27, which is the width of all the fabric. And then this is 15 inches long. Now you can print too, or you can use fabric for the back. But what then you'll do is you'll peel. So there's this back kind of vinyl-like, and that just keeps it printing straight flat, So all you'll do is you'll peel that off, and then you'll have your fabric right here. So I have 2 of these. I made one that's just normal. So I love this like kind of blue floral kind of fabric.
Beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? I don't know. It's always been my favorite. So I recreated it and added a little monogram in the front. And now I'll show you how to make the most simplest laundry bag ever. I'm going to head over to my machine. If you give me a second, I'll be right there.
For the width of the printer, I think it was 11 point something inches for the width, and then the length is however long the fabric roll is. So it gives you an ample amount of space to work with, which I love.
I haven't done this yet, but you can actually print the whole banner if you want that huge piece of fabric.
I heard, like I've seen banners for graduations, birthdays, any type of celebratory events. So that's pretty cool. I like that idea. But
I love that.
I really like what Laura's making.
I do too. And I love that solid color. I've gone in there and they have in the app, you can change different colors on whatever design you have. And then all of a sudden you can add like spirals and stuff to it. And it's so addictive. This was so simple and classy. I'm going to have to do something like this. And I do need a traveling laundry bag. So this is going to be a good project.
Yeah. I like how it's on trend. Good job, Laura.
Thank you. So I'm at my sewing machine, and you're right. You can make banners, which I thought was really cool. I did make my son's 9th birthday banner, and I hung it up. It's a lot of fabric, though. I think it prints a whole yard total. It can print up to 36 inches. So
that's a big banner. That's a really big banner.
Kind of like that used a lot of ink, buddy. Okay. You're going to have a pillow now. This is your pillow too.
Seriously.
We're going to make some shorts with these. All right. He's over here like, well, okay.
We can't be wasteful around here.
Okay. Anyways, so now I got my little front and my back. And then what you'll do is you can mark off, but you'll want to do your hem kind of like this, and just make sure you know where you want your sewing to stop right here. You can mark it or pin it or just kind of know, because we're going to leave that open. And then you'll do that for both front and back. It's just basically making a simple pouch at this point. I'm going to do one side this time though, just because you can do both, but I'm going to do one side just for time's sake. But then you'll start sewing. So we're going to sew. I have front and back right sides together, and we're going to sew from this down and up to that. So you're leaving about 2 inches at the top. All right. So I have my stitch length at about 3. I like to put mine at a 3. What about you guys?
My settings is always at a 3 stitch length. I teach that to all of my students.
Okay, yay, good. I'm right on. kind of made that up.
Yeah, I know Brother sets theirs up at 2.5. So it's 2.5 or 3, but I keep it at 3.
Same.
3.0 works nice on every fabric, really, unless you're using something so fine that you need that smaller stitch. But I still tell the joke, when I first started sewing, I made, well, not first started sewing, but kind of sewing, not professionally even, but making real clothes that you could wear. And I remember making a tweed jacket and adorable tweed skirt. And I think a stitch was 2.0. Oh my gosh. And I sewed my sleeves on backwards. So there was no way I was ripping them out.
Gosh.
That's like one of those where you're like, I'm starting over because it's going to take me 3 hours to unpick this.
Yeah.
Ever since then, my stitch length stays at 3.0. That's so much easier to rip.
Yeah.
I think that's why I do it at 3.0. It's like mistakes. Like at least I can fix it easier.
Yeah. If you're sewing with fleece, though, maybe the stitch length has to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, agreed.
So while we're talking about stitch length, I know everybody watching here, what is your favorite stitch length? Leave a comment below. And also, if you're doing top stitching, all right, girls, what is your favorite length for top stitching if you're top stitching denim?
So I don't typically sew a lot of denim, so I couldn't speak on this.
I'm going to say 3.5.
That's 3.5 or 4.0 is my favorite. It seems to be. And I love the triple stitch at the 4.0 because it just looks, it's like back and forth and it looks so rich.
All right, so I'm getting there to the end.
What machine are you on?
Oh,
this is here, I'll scoot it. This is the SE700. So this is also embroidery as well.
Nice.
And the embroidery area is smaller, the 4x4, but it sews like a dream. All right, so now I have, my front and back right sides together, and then I'm going to sew now the little hem. Okay, so what I like to do is put my, so I don't have to weave it through. I like to put my ribbon or string or whatever you're using in first. Do you guys do that?
Oh, I've never done that. That's a good trick.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And, you got to be careful that you don't, obviously, typically I would press this. You want to be careful just so that you don't accidentally sew it in. Actually, I'll do the thinner one just in case, since we're live. But yeah, I kind of fold it in first. Then I don't have to, especially if you're doing, how the drawstring pouch, you do both sides. And especially for that one, that's so annoying. All right, so I'm going to just move this because I like to have a little more room. So I'm going to sew this right on in here like that. Just obviously make sure that the string or whatever strapping you're using is not going to be in the way of the stitching. And then I'm going to sew a hem.
That's one of those things I was thinking just now. Like, that's one of those things that's a great tip to put that in first. And then once you get used to that, I don't know, Tabitha, I'm thinking that it'd be one of those things I'd sew the whole seam and say, oh my gosh, how did I forget?
Yeah, that's a really good trick. Especially, I teach kids how to sew. So especially if you're sewing with kids, I think that's a good trick for them.
Because the little, and I noticed too, like little kids, like even if I'm showing my son something, it takes them forever to weave them the string through with the safety pin. I'm like, oh my goodness, let me do it. Like, this did not take an hour.
The weaving the thread or the string through, it takes forever for kids.
I'm always like, no, I'm doing this for you. So, oh wait, why didn't oh, hold on. That was kind of weird. You didn't even sew that. I wasn't paying attention, you guys.
It worked. All of a sudden it comes unthreaded. So Tabitha, while she's sewing, I got a quick question for you. You sew with a lot of kids, and I get this question all the time. What would be a great project for a beginner? And I think of kids like that because a lot of them haven't. So any advice on that?
So the very, very, very first project that I teach kids is an eyeglasses case. It's very small. You can use cotton fabric, of course, which is the easiest fabric. And it teaches them how to sew straight, and it teaches them to pivot, and it teaches them to flip inside out. So they learn so much with this little thing, and they have so much pride in what they make. So that's one of the very first things that I teach them. And the second thing, if they join my sewing club, they do what Laura's doing. They learn how to do a drawstring bag, because later on they eventually get, months down the line, they get into garment sewing. But the drawstring bag is cool because it teaches them how to hem, and it also teaches them to sew straight and pivot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So all right, it went through. What a good idea. I always love, like, when you think about kids, like, is there any safety tips that you give them?
Yes. So when they're sewing, I always I tend to see a lot of talking and sewing at the same time and looking around. So I always tell them to always make sure that they're looking at their hands. And if they want to talk to their friends, they have to get their foot off of the sewing pedal, because you know that the feed dogs brings your hands through, and safety. So yeah,
I'm nervous with that stuff.
When you're teaching kids, there's a lot of things that you learn about yourself, like things that you don't even think of because you're sewing. Right. So it's really cool to watch. But
oh,
yeah.
All right, so I just finished that. You can clip edges, and another thing, if you have a serger or something, you could always go through and serges. Or if you wanted it to be a little bit more sturdy or have a little bit more, stability to it, you could do a liner as well. So everything's in. Usually I do both sides, right? So you would do one through the other side, but for time, I didn't really want to go through and do that, both sides. But again, like I said, you can put it already through and sew them in. And then I clipped the corners. I would probably serge or even do a zigzag stitch after I did the straight line if you want to make sure there's no fraying. And then flip right sides out together. And you got your cute little travel laundry bag, and then you just yank these to kind of close them in, and a little monogram in the front.
That's so pretty. Laura, do you know how much that would cost if you bought that retail? And you can make it yourself?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You could, all this custom stuff, it could, people will eat that up. And if you could even make it a drawstring backpack. It's very simple, but I also thought this would be a cute travel, like if you were going somewhere for a trip, like a girls' trip or a bridal party.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And you can even just make a zipper pouch with it as well, like a little theme. Or like, say you're going on a trip, you're going to a marathon or something. You could have little themes, like your front could be, make it a shoe. You print the shoe out on the front. You know how they have those little travel pouches where it has the shoe or the gadgets or perfume, or you know what I mean? And you could do a little theme with all of that. And it's so easy with the PrintModa.
Yeah, that's so smart. I like that.
That I have not seen. That's the first one I've seen with a solid color like that. I mean, that looks like you just went to a boutique and spent a ton of money. It really does.
It does. Honestly, it does.
It's pretty. It prints out. You know what I just noticed, you guys? Look at this.
Oh, I saw that while you were sewing.
we got a theme going on, and you're subconscious.
Did you make your curtains out of PrintModa?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is all patched. This is a whole. This is the banner right here, you guys.
That's funny.
Louis got a pillow and some shorts, and I got some curtains.
Good idea. Yeah. I like the thought of like a girls' trip or like a bachelorette
Yes.
bachelorette get together and you customizing something like that for your girls. That's cute.
Right. And then I
And
even thought
also,
a birthday packet, like, if your kids have a birthday or something, you could do the little birthday theme, their little gift bags.
Yeah,
Just
that's good.
like that.
Yeah, really
so
cute.
we are live and you literally printed your fabric and sewed that bag and we talked and forgot to thread the needle for the one time and still finished it in under like 10 minutes. So
Yes.
you could make quite a few of these. And I know a lot of our viewers have stores online where they sell things. I mean, can you imagine? This would be such a great idea for, number one, for gifts, like you said,
Right.
a party, but also if you want to make some money online.
Yeah, that would be that machine is so great for small businesses.
Agreed.
I know customization is on trend for a lot of businesses, so that's a perfect addition to a business.
Agreed. And it's
Absolutely.
almost like a quality gift bag that you could make for someone, or with your products. You send it, and look how easy it was. It took me, once I printed it, maybe 5 minutes to sew.
Yeah. Very
So,
easy. Very easy. So yours looks like an applique, and now Tabitha's going to applique.
I am. I'm excited. So give me a moment while I move on over to my printer.
All right. While she moves over there, Laura, I'm so, oops, I just cut us both off. Wrong button. Sorry about that. I love that color. So question, I know everybody's going to ask because they have the Art Spirit app. Did you take a photo of those flowers or were those built in to the app?
So this was not a built-in app. I actually had a photo from some paper that I like. I love that. Like I said, I love a blue floral. So I have had some scrap paper. I took a photo and then I just literally put it on Art Spirit and done. So you can do anything like that. That's the one thing I love about it is you can, if your son or your kids or you love a certain theme, you can create the fabric around that. And it's, for you. I mean, where can we just create any fabric we want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
absolutely. Cool. I think it was 2 falls ago, I was taking photos of it. It was like prime leaf season in Michigan and the colors were gorgeous. And I took a photo and turned that into fabric and used it for a table runner. I mean, there's so many different things you can do.
And you could do, like, you're right, you could do that table runner with your fabric. And then you just add, what would it be, like a fusible fleece with another fabric underneath right there,
Right there. Add a little stippling to the leaves. I'm giving everybody. No, we can't talk about that. It's spring. It's going to be spring. We'll leave fall till later.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, Tabitha, we've got you back. So let me bring you up here and love your studio.
Oh, thank you. All right, guys. So if you know me online, as you can see, that I love silly garments. I'm around kids all the time. They make me feel like I'm cool and I'm young, even though we know that I'm not. But I love silly fashion. I feel like fashion doesn't have to be so serious and it can be fun. It doesn't matter how old you are. Fashion should be fun at all ages. So I thought it would be fun to make this dress. I'm going to show you the end product, but first I want to show you how I embellished it with my PrintModa. Just like Laura showed you, you just go onto the Art Spirit app, or for me, I created my design outside of Art Spirit. There is so many options on Art Spirit that you can choose from, a lot of things that you can customize, just like Laura showed you. But for this specific project, I designed outside of Art Spirit. I brought it into the app, which is really simple. And here is my Art Spirit app here. I have some fun little characters. I'm sure you guys can recognize them. I bring it into Art Spirit. It's very simple. You hit print and then it prints from the printer. And I have one already printed out. So here are the fun characters. When you print out the fabric, you'll have this clear backing, which makes it easy for the printer to print, and you simply just remove the backing just like that. And then ta-da, it's fabric. So for this project, I decided to create appliques all over my dress. I'm going to show you the dress here. I'm going to show you the front of the dress just so you can get an idea of what I'm going to be using this fabric for. So I found this fabric. I need to applique the front, which I'm going to show you. And I made this silly little dress, and you can see all the little mice on there working on my dress. He has a little needle there. He has a button. Let's see. She has thread that she's holding. These two birds are carrying this trim. It's a very silly dress. I think it's so funny. Whenever I'm wearing something, of course, you have to have all of the confidence in the world.
I love it.
It's so funny because women my age, I'm 40, women my age are like, are you making that for your daughter? I'm like, no, that's for me. But you guys, this is fabric. Like, how cool is that? It looks like a sticker. It's so fun.
I love that. And it's probably lighter than embroidery then, because if you embroidered it, you'd have like little, it's a lot stiffer. This is adorable. I don't know where you came up with the idea for the trim with the birds, but I love that. And I love the sewing needle with the mice.
Yes.
I'm around kids a lot, so they're always like looking at my clothes. So I felt like this would be fun for them to like look at. Love that. Yeah. So like you mentioned, Angela, I think embroidery would be a little bit more dense, a little bit more heavy and weighty on the dress. So this fabric is so lightweight, and it matches perfectly on this dress. So what I wanted to do is I actually added a lightweight apparel interfacing to the back of this just to give it a little bit more structure. Then I added a two-sided interfacing to applique onto my dress. So once I added those interfacings on the whole sheet, adding those two pieces of interfacing on the entire sheet makes it so much easier to work with. Once you've done that, then you'll cut the pieces out. So I have a few pieces here that are already cut out. Again, this piece has apparel interfacing, and it also has the two-sided applique interfacing. So it's just like a sticker. You'll just peel off the back. Just like that. And the shiny side is what faces down on the fabric, and then we'll iron it on. Angela, give me a moment while I take you guys to my iron.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Okay, so
that is cute.
Laura, I'm thinking my youngest nephew is 2 now. If I wore that, he would be hanging from it. He would want to play with everything on there. This is so much fun.
It would be a cute sensory thing for them for sure. I love the little, it's Cinderella themed with the little mice and how they're sewing the dress.
Oh yes.
So I love the idea behind it, especially like if you are, teaching or sewing or whatever, the theme is perfect.
It is. All I'm thinking of in my head is that song, Cinderella, Cinderella.
Yeah. And I thought it was cool how she just has the adhesive stabilizer and you place it on. And then it's probably easy as well to apply it onto the fabric. I think that's a good idea.
I think it is too. Tabitha, just give me thumbs up when you're ready, so we'll bring you back up. So she's going to her iron, and this is going to be such a simple, easy project, but it does not look simple. I mean, it does. The final result doesn't look simple. It looks like it took a lot of time, and this is super cute. All right, she's back to us. We'll bring her back. Hey.
Yeah, so full disclaimer, I do have to mention what I'm known for online is taking expensive designer things and recreating them to where it's affordable for me. So this dress is actually inspired by a designer dress that I saw online. It was a couple of thousands of dollars, if you can believe it. And I decided to make it on my own. And I feel like PrintModa is like the best investment for especially someone like me that loves fashion. So it's great because as you guys saw earlier, you can customize things and make things your own. You can make silly dresses like I do if you want to. If you're creative, like PrintModa is it.
Yeah, it's very good for personalizing.
Yeah, I love it. All right.
What did you say, Laura? What did you say, Laura? It's pretty good for what?
For personalizing or customizing anything. Like, I love that aspect of it for sure.
I do too.
Okay, here are my little friends, and it's easy. It works like a sticker. So here's the shiny side. I'm just going to find a fun place to put this, maybe on the upper back. Let's see. Okay. And then it's very simple. You'll just take your iron. If you've ever worked with interfacing before, you know how this is. It just takes less than a minute for the glue on the interfacing to melt onto the fabric. The two-sided interfacing makes it easy for when you go to sew it. So the interfacing does say permanent, but I do highly recommend that you do sew this applique on because this allows it to really reinforce onto the fabric. So I'm going to take you over to my sewing machine. Today I'm going to be using the Brother PQ1600S, which is my ultimate favorite.
Sounds good. All right, so let's see. I'll meet you back at your machine. This is such a fun project. So just out of curiosity, everybody watching that has the PrintModa, leave a comment what you've made and what inspired you. Another one I just did the PrintModa of maybe a few months ago was more of a memory pillow for someone who had passed away, and all that was left was 2 aprons of her, and gosh, they were really old aprons, and I didn't want to cut them up, and too many people wanted them, so I took a photo of each one and printed it out. And I mean, how easy is that? And then you can put the date and then make little memory pillows and put pictures in there. So I mean, just so many ideas. But I know. So since we're live in the chat today, whoever has the PrintModa, give us an idea of what you did, or if you don't have the PrintModa, what you would do or what you'd like to do.
I know there's so many options. Like it's, you can do, like you said, the memory pillow or even a decorative pillow, a lot of accessories, you know what I mean? Zipper pouches. And now I'm seeing Tabitha is just making me like more inspired to add it to clothing, and do this applique work or even anything like that. It's really cool. Like now I want to go and do some applique.
And the other thing is they've mentioned that, it is cotton fabric. So it's different than the sublimation printer where you have to use polyester. This is cotton fabric. And once it prints, usually you press it and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. And I have had no problem with washing it. And I know technically you have to be very careful because it's a dye and it's print. But when I pressed it and then let it sit, I've had nothing happen to mine.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because then we got options.
Right. More options. All right, Tabitha, we see you over here busy on your machine.
So I wanted to mention also while I'm threading this, if you're teaching classes and you're wondering if PrintModa would be good for your business, I'll tell you one project that is an ultimate hit every single time I create this class. And it's, I think, Laura, you mentioned it, a memory pillow, but the one that I'm talking about is making a memory pillow for like parents that have deployed, parents or pets that have passed away. things like that. So making projects out of family members or that are deployed or pets that have long gone that you want to remember.
Right.
That project is always a hit and people love it. Actually, recently, the Heritage Humane Society, who take homeless dogs, they mentioned they wanted to collaborate because like the idea is so good, and it's because of PrintModa.
Oh,
Wow.
that's so, I agree. Like, and you know how you have the little wall quilts? Like my mom has a wall quilt, and then the photos, yeah. And it's been there. And I made this back in high school, but back in the day, remember when we used the printer? It was our normal printer on that fabric stuff. This is way back in the day, and like now you can see it kind of yellowing and on my mom's wall. But I was like, I need to remake her a new one, and you do the photos, but it's a wall quilt. You know, you could even do a smaller one. I know in the PrintModa pamphlet, they show the little version of the small wall quilt with the family photos. I thought that was really cute. But what a great idea, Tabitha, with the dogs or pets that have passed, or even like you said, working with an animal shelter.
Yes. So right now, it's pretty simple from here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch all the way around my image. Again, I'm using the Brother 1600S. It is my ultimate favorite machine. I have lots of different machines here and I love playing with all of them, but right now for the last, I would say 6 months, this has been my baby. I love this machine because it can literally sew anything. I've been sewing, of course, dresses. I've been sewing quilts on here. I've sewn jackets. It doesn't matter the thickness. This thing can do it. So I love this machine. So again, simply, you're just going to go all the way around. I'm just going to do a few stitches since we're on live, just so you guys get the idea. But you're just going to go carefully around the applique. And then let's just pretend that I'm finished. Then you take it out. I'll finish it later, but you take it out. For those of you that are into fashion and you're thinking that the PrintModa is not something that you need, think again, because this machine will take your fashion, your garments to a whole other level of customization. But here's the bag. These are our two friends. But again, this is a very simple project. PrintModa you can just customize anything and just bring it into PrintModa, print it out, stick it onto your dress, and ta-da, you have something fun to wear. It's very simple.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
So fun.
The two birds are so cute.
So, while you're talking about that, I know that a lot of the Brother fans recently have purchased their new machine, the Avenir, which has a stitch regulator foot, and that allows you to do free motion, and it keeps the stitch length consistent. Okay. This would be perfect for that because you could just quickly stitch around the applique with free motion. Your stitches would be great, and they also have a zigzag stitch, so that would be perfect.
Oh yeah, more ideas. Yeah, awesome.
Really cool.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. So drop your questions down below. By the way, we are live in the chat today. This is so inspiring. And by the way, do you know how much that dress would be? Because I think you just said it's a couple $1,000. Between that and the
yeah. Like I said, the investment into PrintModa, because of all of the options and things you can make, I highly recommend.
Yeah. So I just have new clothes. You can do even your own custom bags or gift bags or anything for even a business, small business. So yeah, their options are endless for sure.
Too many things. But so I have to just ask you both, since we were talking about teaching kids to sew. Tabitha, how old were you when you started sewing?
When I started sewing, I was a little girl when I started. I would say maybe 8 or 9. 8 or 9 years old.
Do you remember your first project you sewed?
I don't remember. I remember being in Hawaii. We used to live in Hawaii, and my mom teaching me to sew. She was making me, she allowed me to help her sew something that she was sewing for a client. And I just didn't have the patience at that time.
Yeah.
I love that. Laura, how old were you?
I was in middle school, so they offered sewing in my middle school. I wish they still did that. You know how they used to offer it in school. Now they don't. Because I would love to be a sewing teacher. I think that would be such a fun job to do when you're a little older, you know. And I just the teachers that I remember always were my sewing teachers. Those are like the stars in my eyes, you know.
Yeah.
But I was probably 11, 12. And my first project was we all did pajama pants. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we did the little things, right? Like the pillowcase or even the drawstring pouch. But we had, like, my first one I actually remember was pajama pants, and all the girls wore them to school when they were done. So we all had these big old fleece pajamas. Whenever Janko was in, those big old, so the bigger the better.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, so it was like, I remember that, and I took that class from every single year from, I think we weren't allowed to take sewing until maybe it was 8th grade. So that was middle school. And then every single year in high school on, we had quilt machines in my sewing class. Like they had the whole show.
Nice.
Chargers. I was like, I grew up in Utah though. I feel like that was kind of a, you know, I think they might still do that there, but I moved and I was like, no, they said it's not a thing anymore.
You need to start that in your school there, Laura.
I would love to. Like, you guys need a sewing teacher? Here I come. You know?
Too bad you don't live close to Tabitha. You could be her you could teach with her. You know, it's funny you say that. When I was in I think it was 8th grade, I started sewing at 5, I think around 5 or 6, according to the picture. And my first thing was a little polka dotted headband. It was the only thing my mom would let me sew because I had to sit on her lap. And back then it was a very big machine. I think that thing could sew through your arm. But I recall being in 8th grade and they had home ec.
Yeah.
I tried the cooking part and I don't like chocolate. So the smell of chocolate made me sick. So then there goes the cooking. And then they had sewing and I felt like I already know how to do that. So I took woodworking.
Oh, that's fun too.
But I love the sewing aspect and you know what? I think it is coming back to some schools, but I love when we chat about that because everyone watching, if you have kids or grandkids or even if you're older, just start. It's like riding a bike. Once you start, you never turn back. It's so much fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think oh my gosh, resources now, you know, like you have so many resources with bloggers, with online, YouTube, whatever. There's so many options you can learn just very easily. Like threading a bobbin, like back in the day, we all kind of had to figure it out unless you had a teacher or a mom that knew how to do it, you know?
Yeah. It was figure outable.
Now it is.
When it comes to sewing, you can find there's different types of seamstresses too, which is cool. You don't have to just sew garments. You can do bags, you can do hats, you can do all sorts of things. You can do embroidery if you want to, but there's so many different subcategories under sewing.
Yes, and I would love to see in the comments, since we're in the comments today, what is your favorite? Do you like the garments? Do you like it all? You know, one thing that's very popular with kids in high school is refashioning because they already have the garment and they can refashion it. And what you showed today, Tabitha, would be a great refashion for something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
love that.
On denim, like a denim jacket. That would be
that would be fun.
The army themed jackets, like the greenish.
Oh,
yes. Some floral embroidery or.
Oh, I love the contrast of that. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
We're coming up with our next projects.
I'm going right now.
So just before we go real quick, Tabitha, tell everyone where they can find you because both of you have great Instagram channels. So Tabitha?
Absolutely. So you can find me at Tabitha Sewer, or you can watch me interact with my fun kids, my students here at my studio at Tabitha Sewer Studio.
Fun. All right, Laura, where can they find you?
Well, I have a blog, trashtoCouture.com, or you can find me on at trashtoCouture on Instagram.
Fabulous. And you can find me at angelawolf.com, and that's where I drop in the new schedule when I get it, who's coming on, and you can always go back and watch the replays. And if you want more of these shows, be sure to write below. And if you would like Tabitha and Laura to be on together, mention what you'd like them to show, because this was a great collaboration of great projects. So, all right, you guys, it was so nice to see you. Brother Sewing fans, nice to see you, and have a great day. And you know what? We're going to kick it off and end it with the voice control on the Avenir. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.